Erik the Bike Man!
Whoa. The mountain bike trails at Monarch Singletrack opened up in September of 2020 and are some of the newest mountain bike trails in the Twin Cities. You can find the Monarch Singletrack at 6920 Springview Drive in Victoria, Minnesota. These trails are located inside the Carver Park Reserve. The trailhead area features plenty of paved parking along with a vault and portable toilets. There's a bottle filling station with a water fountain and a bike repair stand. The Singletrack trailhead shares the parking lot with an archery range, so don't forget to bring your Robin Hood tights and make a day of it. There's even a place to tie up and water your horse. The Carver Park Reserve, where Monarch Singletrack is located, really is a cyclist's dream. There's multiple campgrounds, including a bike-in only bikepacking campground, and over 9 miles of paved bike trails. The entire park system is directly connected to the Lake Minnetonka LRT Regional Trail, so you can get to the park from Minneapolis by bike without ever riding on any roads. Monarch Singletrack received funding and support from the One Track Mind Foundation, whose goal is to advance the sport of mountain biking by supporting the work of volunteers and youth in building, improving, and maintaining single-track mountain bike trails. Learn more about One Track Mind Foundation at onetrackmind.org. Monarch Singletrack is another Three Rivers Park District facility, and they're maintained by the amazing volunteers of MORC, the Minnesota Off-Road Cyclists. Between Conservation Corps of Minnesota and the help of the Minnetonka High School mountain bike team, many hours of work were put in at the new Monarch Singletrack to get it shaped up, polished, and ready to open in 2020. It was only through these efforts that the trail crew was able to get the trail open when they did. MORC will now begin their stewardship of the trail with weekly trail work sessions. Check out their website at morcmtb.org and consider a membership, or better yet, show up for a trail work session. There's right around 10 miles of total single track broken down into a bunch of stacked loops and in 2 areas of the park. The Easy Rider section is 1.1 miles of green easy trail. Ravine Rush, Grimm's Grind, and Raptor Ridge add up to about 6.8 miles of blue intermediate trails. And Paradise is 2.4 miles of black advanced trail. All right, let's get on the trail. Monarch had only been open for a few days, so Casey and I were itching to see what all of the excitement was about. And whoo doggy, did it deliver. Head south on the paved bike trail until you see the trail gate. This is the start of the green Easy Rider section. If you look at the trail map, they lay the trail out using mileage markers set at quarter-mile intervals, starting with mile marker 10 and going up. So naturally, we started at the lower numbers and worked our way up. Easy Rider is nice and wide with some easy hills and berms. This is the perfect way to get started and warmed up. You're treated to nice sweeping turns as you wind your way through the prairie. You're going to come across a number of big bridges throughout this system, and they're super easy to get across. A few more turns and a couple of climbs and you come across this really pretty overlook. We were just getting started, so there wasn't any time for sightseeing. More rolling prairie riding and into some woods, and we came across our first intersection. This is the start of the blue intermediate Raptor Ridge Trail. If you want to keep things easy, hang a right to continue with your Easy Rider loop. Hang a left and you make your way to Raptor Ridge. Now, don't let the intermediate description of Raptor Ridge scare you. There really aren't any sections that are overly gnarly. The trail gets a little bit narrower and there's some longer climbs. But those climbs aren't super steep and the payoff is totally worth it. When you come to this intersection, hang a left to do the one-way Raptor Ridge loop.
The trail system as a whole has a lot of punchy climbs, but rewards you for climbing every time. It's not one long slog up a hill to have fun on the downhill. It's fun, and you usually get a quick downhill right after the climb.
Raptor Ridge features a few long gradual climbs up the hill through the prairie, with a couple of short flowing sections that take you back down and through some trees. In one section of woods, Casey and I came across our first log skinny. We quickly cleaned it, and off we went. The final climb up to the top of Raptor Ridge has an amazing payoff. The views up here are fantastic, and we were so fortunate to ride it in late September when the colors were really starting to pop. Before you know it, you're coming back down and through a roller coaster of a berm section, bringing you to the bottom of the hill and back out to finish Raptor Ridge. Back onto the connector trail, and we finished that last bit of Easy Rider. A left on the paved trail brings you back to the parking area and to the start of the next section of trails. This short two-way trail is the start of the blue intermediate Ravine Rush. Use caution here, as you might come across riders heading towards you on the trail as they head back to the parking lot. Hang a right at the intersection and the fun of Ravine Rush begins. Right off the bat, you're in the woods, sweeping down the hill with some fun berms, bumps, and rocks to pop off of. Quickly, you learn why it's called Ravine Rush. You're constantly heading up and down the sides of these ravines, and the trail builders took full advantage. Continue on Ravine Rush by taking a right across the bridge or head forward to head back to the car. Ravine Rush continues to head up and down the hill with fun turns and rocks to keep you entertained. Another short section of two-way trail across the bridge, and then it's a sharp left and up the hill. You wind around a little bit and you come to the start of the advanced trail, Paradise. Fun fact, while this section is a mountain biker's paradise, it's actually named after One Track Mind founder and friend of ERIK'S, Tracy Paradise. Again, even though this is listed as an expert trail, don't let that scare you too much. The hills are definitely hillier inside of Paradise, but any truly advanced feature has a ride around. Go ahead, give it a shot.
Monarch seamlessly scales to skill level. The features are challenging, and the bypasses don't punish you for taking them. It's beautiful and varied enough to keep your legs guessing.
If you don't feel like heading into the advanced section, you can stay right and continue with Ravine Rush. This little section is super fun with a few berms and some jumps and some rocks as you rip down back into the ravine. I really like running into my friends on the trails. As we were riding, Casey and I ran into my bud Wyatt shredding the gnar with one of his friends. After some super fun turns and berms, Casey and I played around a little bit on this log and had some fun. I may have slipped off one time, which wasn't too much fun. Then it's onto a pretty good climb back up to the top of the ravine and a fun little rock to crawl over. Soon enough, you come across the expert features. You can choose from a concrete rollout, a drop, or some super fun berms. Casey and I gave the berms a run first, then I took the re-ride and had to try out the drop. Now, I have to stress that the drop and the rollout, along with the hip jump at the bottom, are for sure expert features. Even if you fancy yourself a good rider, as always, walk the features, then roll them, then go for it. If you don't want to even get into any of this, take the ride around. After messing around on those advanced features, it was time to keep going through more fun turns and berms and a pretty steep little punchy climb in Paradise.
Lots of punchy climbs.
Bringing us to another blue intermediate section called Grimm's Grind. This crossover is also where you access the trail system from the Parley Lake Group Camp. Grimm's is a rollicking roll that alternates from woods to prairie to woods to prairie with lots of humps, jumps, and berms thrown in. At this point, Casey had had enough dilly-dallying and she got in front to really make me work. It felt like this section was one of the faster sections of the trail where you can just open it up and blast through the woods and the prairie. Monarch does not disappoint if you like these flowy, bermy features. Back at the crossover with Paradise, and it's time to finish up Paradise and roll into the end of Ravine Rush. At this point, you can hang a right to repeat Paradise, but Casey and I were running out of gas, so we went left to finish out Ravine Rush. And what a rush this part is. Holy mackerel. As you drop into Ravine Rush again, you're just below the campground. Into more fast berms, with more berms, and then some more berms, then, you guessed it, more berms and jumps.
Okay, this is my favorite section of the whole trail system. It's full throttle, through the woods, with fast berms, quick little jumps, and just hang on for the ride speed. It's a great reward after climbing from the trails that are in front of it.
At this point, you hit a short section of two-way traffic, so use a little caution. It's easy to come ripping down into this crossover. Over the bridge and up a little climb, and you make your way through more turns and berms as you skirt the edge of the woods. A sharp left to go over the bridge, and then a right along the ravine, and you're starting the long, winding climb out of Ravine Rush. Before you know it, you're back on the two-way section and out to the parking lot. Monarch Singletrack is an amazingly beautiful and fun system of trails with a little bit of something for everyone. From expert to beginner, there's something for all riders. And remember, this is a brand new trail, so new features are being added all the time. I've been back to Monarch since we recorded this, and they've already made a few small changes.
I'm definitely coming back to Monarch for the punchy climbs, the long berms that catapult you into the next feature, not to mention the breathtaking views of the prairie.
Be sure to check out our blog at shoperiks.com for more trail reviews, and if you or your bike need anything, stop by your favorite ERIK'S location before hitting the trails.